Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. So we've already done the June month ahead forecast, which you can find on the month ahead forecast page. Quite an interesting forecast this month, because we're going for a fairly warm month. And also risk of some fairly conditions as well. So if you want to know more about the June month ahead forecast, check that out on the month ahead forecast page. This video is going to have a look at weather next week 10 days. Just a very quick look today. So we're going to have a look at the GFS and ECMWF models. Quite a bit of uncertainty really as we're going through into the second week of June. It's going to take us to around the 12th of the month, and there is quite a bit of uncertainty for next week, with a bit of a discrepancy between the GFS and the ECM, so I'll show you that in a second. But before I get on with that, just very quick to say about the ads. There's these articles on the pages. Have a browse through widgets, click through the links if there's any articles that you're interested in paying so much to do that. The video ads, most pages say own content when you watch show close back up again, helps to pay for our website. If you're interested in the Download and Isle of Wight festivals, which are coming up not this weekend but next weekend, have a quick look at that this evening. So keep an eye on my Twitter page and Facebook pages for information about that. Before we just start off with this chart, because it is 41 years ago today, the 2nd of June 1975, when we had snow across many parts of the country. This is the Slotted chart for the 2nd of June 1975, taken from the Historic Archive at wettercentral.d. They've got an archive of charts that goes all the way back to the 1st of January 1871. All of the historic videos that I do use the charts from the Historic Archive at wettercentral.d. So this was the situation. We had a deep area of low pressure across the east of Scotland and in the Norwegian Sea, with the air coming from a very, very long way north. If you follow the isobars back, proper Arctic origin air was plunging down across the country, and this brought bands of showers down through the country on the 2nd of June 1975 as this low pressure slipped down the North Sea. And many of those showers, believe it or not, they did turn to snow. And there are a lot of cricket matches that had to be abandoned because snow stopped play on the 2nd of June, famously in 1975. Now, once this was out of the way, it actually turned into a very hot summer. There are two really hot summers in the mid-70s, 1975 1976. 76 was even hotter than 75, but just goes to show you that even they have a very cold start to the summer with snow, it finished up really quite a hot and dry summer indeed. Don't thought just have a quick sneak peek at that, or a quick snapshot at that, because it was one of those very memorable occurrences, and it's not happened since. Really real once in a lifetime type scenario that occurred this day 41 years ago. Right, going back to the present day, we'll have a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly charts. We've got the ECMWF here on the top, the GFS is on the bottom. 500 millibars, 80,000 feet, is an area in the absolute high pressure, low pressure being moved around by a jet stream running above. These are the mean flow charts for the next week's 10 days, so this will take us to around the 12th of June. And this shows the discrepancy quite nice. I'll show the ECM, the GFS in a moment, but this is how the ECM is looking. And it's got quite a deep trough of low pressure across the north of Scandinavia and also out in the Atlantic. It's bringing the Atlantic back, look, with the jet stream as we go through into the latter stages of next week and then on into the second weekend of June. That's unsettled. That's bands of rain moving in off the Atlantic. But look at the GFS. It has a ridge generally to the south and over the UK, with the jet stream still going to the north of the country rather like that. So a big difference there between the GFS and the ECMWF. The GFS definitely favouring warmer and drier conditions through the second half of next week and into the second weekend of June, whereas the Eastern EF wants to turn it more unsettled. These are the GFS temperature precipitation ensembles for the next 2 weeks. We've got the red line here indicating the 30-year temperature average. Now we're significantly above average with these upper air temperatures at the moment. I was talking about this, I think it's in the video on Tuesday maybe. What are we today? We're Thursday, so I think it's on Tuesday. And it's very interesting that we're so much warmer than average in terms of the upper air temperatures, but it's been really, really cool by day anyway across many eastern and southeastern parts of the country just recently. I mean, yesterday we had maximum temperatures in many places of just 11, 12 degrees, and we had days warmer than that, significantly warmer than that, in December. So it really has been very, very chilly by day, although temperatures have been holding up better by night because of all the cloud. But if you look at the upper air temperatures, you will think we'd be having a very warm or hot spell. And it just goes to show you the difference that A, a lot of cloud, and B, the wind direction can make at this time of the year. The wind's been generally coming in from an east to northeasterly direction, dragging in loads of cloud off the North Sea, and just keeping things generally quite cool and miserable down on the surface. Anyway, as we go through the next week or so, we still keep the temperatures above average in the upper air temperatures, and I think we'll start to realise this more over the coming days. There'll be more sunshine coming through over the weekend and into next week, and that I think will start to allow the temperatures to lift up. So by the end of the weekend and start of next week, I would expect temperatures to be approaching the mid-20s Celsius, getting into the upper 70s Fahrenheit. Now, as we go into the second week of June, there is a little bit of a cooling trend here. It's in the extended range of the GFS model, so not to be too worried about at this stage, but certainly a bit of a cooling trend there in evidence as we go through into the second week and then up to the middle part of the month. Precipitation spikes, they're coming back a bit. A lot of dry weather for the rest of this week and into the weekend, but later in the weekend and then on into next week, looks like I've got rainfall coming back. I think there's a lot of showers there taking place, maybe thunderstorms even, with the warm temperatures starting to come through. But certainly it looks like it's turning a bit wetter as we go through into next week particularly. Here's the generic chart then. This is the GFS for Monday, and it's still the idea that high pressure is generally sitting to the north and northeast, low pressure being blocked in the Atlantic. The flow is going rather like that. We're bringing up the air from a southeasterly or southerly direction, so it'll be warm, but there will be a risk of some thundery showers, especially in the south. That continues into Tuesday. On into Wednesday, pressure is reforming over the country, so that probably settles things down. Should be very warm there as well. Temperatures could be as high as 27 degrees by then. That's around 80 Fahrenheit. And this high pressure continues into Thursday. Friday, the high pressure is still there. Look, still reaching through the country with the low pressure out to the north and the west of the country, and the jet stream generally glancing away to us to the north and the west. As we run up towards day 10, just signs that ridge is weakening a little bit by the 12th of June. Low pressure trying to move into the northwest of Scotland, perhaps bring the jet stream a bit further south. But even then, you have to say, there is a lot of high pressure influences here around and to the south of the country. So even up to day 10, I suspect it's still mostly dry, and for the south anyway, very warm. The ECM is really different though. We've already seen it on the height anomaly chart. So we start next week very similar to the GFS. High pressure again is to the north, and the east of the country, low pressure is in the Atlantic, with the flow going like that. We run through the week and it stays similar to the middle part of the week, so high pressure is rebuilding across the country up to Wednesday. But then on Thursday and Friday we get a change. Low pressure breaks through definitively. So at this point, Friday the 10th of June, the GFS is keeping a ridge through the country, whereas the GFS, the ECM I should say, hope you're bearing with me, is bringing low pressure in off the Atlantic and turning things much more unsettled by the end of next week. And then that trough stays with us into the weekend of 11th, 12th of June. In fact, it's placing the trough right over top of the country. Now, as I said at the start of the video, we've got some festivals going on here, and I'll have a look at those later on today. But obviously, this isn't very good news for those events because the trough is centred right over the top of the country. That'll be very unsettled with showers or longer spells of rain. But keep in mind, the GFS is much more settled with this for the weekend of the 11th and 12th of June, and a lot warmer as well. So we're going to have to wait and see, essentially. We've got this split here between the GFS and the ECM. The GFS wants to extend dry weather up to that second week of June, and very warm temperatures as well, I would have thought, whereas the ECMWF really wants to turn things very unsettled and a lot cooler. Have to wait and see how it plays out. I'll keep you updated on it, of course. But that's how the two are looking this morning. It's very difficult to say which way this is going to go. I'll probably side with the GFS a little bit more in having a warmer spell continuing the second weekend of the month. But let's wait and see how it plays out. It's JMA Friday tomorrow, looking at the month ahead with the Japanese and CFS V2 models. To come back to that, as I say, this evening we'll have a look at those two festivals that are occurring next weekend, Download and the Isle of Wight Festival. So come back to that this evening. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.